Everybody's talking about Dana White and what Dana White's doing for the UFC and Conor McGregor and everything. Listen, Floyd Mayweather would make the fight with Conor McGregor in a boxing match. Dana White don't want that. So all you fans that see saying, "Oh man, Floyd's scared, Conor beat him," tell Dana White. Tell Dana White you want to see the fight happen. That's the only reason that's not going to happen. I told you this months ago. Dana White is not going to allow that to happen. As long as he's under contract with the UFC, it's not going to happen. Conor McGregor would have to leave the sport and violate his contract with the UFC, which Dana White is still a owner, majority owner, or he's got a part of it. So he's going to make a decision there. So what's going to happen? Y'all going to let him go and do the fight, or just put the fight on? You will make the most money you've ever made in your life, Dana White. Why wouldn't you put Conor McGregor in the ring with Floyd Mayweather if you're so confident he could beat him in a boxing ring? Why don't you contact him and try to make the fight happen? You don't want the fight to happen because you know the results of that fight. He was like, well, tell Floyd to come to the octagon. Why would the biggest draw in professional sports go to a sport that's not a draw? He's going to come down to the opponent's level, fight him on his playing field. He doesn't generate the money Floyd Mayweather generates. No matter how much you try to put him on a pedestal, all of that, you got to market people like Conor McGregor. And he can act an idiot and a fool, and he's supposed to be, oh, great and unstoppable. Yet, he's not fighting the people he's supposed to fight and defend his title like a true champion of the sport. But yet, Floyd Mayweather's supposed to fear him. All you idiot Conor McGregor fans, I'm glad you're here. Because this is the first time I've addressed him as Conor McGregor. And the reason why I'm addressing him as Conor McGregor and not Coward McQuitter is because this is about Dana White. Dana, what you scared of? Put down the candy and let the little boy go. Let him fight. If he's really the man he's supposed to be, if he's not a dog and pony show like we already know he is, then let him prove it. Let him take the fight. You got a boxing license in California. Go get an opponent that Floyd Mayweather's beaten and fight him. Y'all can fight DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley for long as I fight Chop. He will have his head cut off by Chop. Even right now. Fighting Chop Chop Corley. Put that fight on. Conor McGregor probably wouldn't get out of the second round fighting Chop. And you know it. So, how is the state of Nevada, who rejected Conor McGregor, but wouldn't give him a license because he would get killed, even though he had amateur boxing, they're not going to license you to fight anybody because you haven't proven that you can fight in a boxing ring. You will be hurt by a C-level, D-level fighter. Because that is his rate when it comes to boxing. You cannot say the way he threw a punch in UFC would be equivalent to those who throws punches in boxing. You're heading down a slippery slope of you getting pummeled over and over again. So when we say things like, don't get it confused, don't get crossed up, don't come in this thing sideways and thinking that it's sweet. We all know y'all doing promotion and just to get Floyd name to build him up because you know what type of beating that awaits you if you try to fight Floyd. You could say Floyd's going to run, but when you get in the ring, where you going to go? Let's see his punch output when he's fighting Floyd. Let's see the great power of Conor McGregor, a man who can't throw a boxing punch to save his life accurately, against the best fighter in the world at 40. Floyd is not only quicker, he's smarter, he's sharper, he has more instinct than Conor McGregor. You cannot, look, you're looking at 30 plus years of boxing experience. Conor McGregor has not even been alive for that long. He will not survive. People was like, yeah, but look what Joe Smith Jr. did to Bernard Hopkins. One, Joe Smith Jr. is a boxer. It's not an MMA fighter transitioning into the sport of boxing. And don't tell me Conor McGregor's amateur boxing career, because that doesn't count when you go into MMA. You basically forfeited your amateur boxing career. He wasn't a great amateur boxer to begin with. There are plenty of people who were amateur boxers who never went professional or did go professional and did not make it. They didn't make it pro probably 2 years before they were exposed as not being talented enough or skilled enough to even succeed or win a world title. There have been plenty of fighters that have come close. Some have fought and even got to a championship fight but never won the title. And those were considered to be B-level fighters or C-level fighters at that point. Gatekeepers is what they were called. But just to get to the gatekeeper level, you had to have had something at one point to be considered. You had to fight through a lot of obstacles just to get to the gatekeeper position. So imagine somebody that's a D-level fighter who's probably an amateur fighter at best. Who could they match Conor up with? He can't beat anybody. You put him in a ring with Paulie Malignaggi, who they say was a light puncher, he wouldn't stop Conor McGregor. Stop him. Conor's not, he's not built to go 12 rounds in a boxing fight. They were like, well, MMA is different. Yes, it's different. It's much different. It's a whole different world. The mental pressure. We've seen this guy quit 3 times because of mental pressure. What do you think's going to happen in a boxing ring when you have mental pressure all over your body? You can't get a guy off your face. You don't know how to cut the ring off on them. They know how to rest. You don't. They're making you fight when you don't want to fight. It's speed chess. So I understand the sacrifices. I understand what it takes at this level and the difference between the two sports. I understand Conor McGregor don't have a prayer, and I understand Dana White knows it. So they can promote the stupid people all they want, the people that just drink beer and yell and look at the commercials, but I know what it is and you know what it is. It's your boy Carcino. I'm out. If you want to address me, I'm at Carcino on Twitter, at Carcino on Instagram. Follow me, subscribe, all those great, wonderful things. If you feel that Conor McGregor can survive against Floyd Mayweather, we'll see. Put your best argument to the table. I'm out.